Simon Weston, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us today about your new role as the patron of the South Central Ambulance Charity. Simon, I'd like to start by talking to you about your story, which is all about having suffered life-threatening and really serious injuries. Can you tell us a little bit about the difference it made to you to have trained first responders right there on the spot when you needed them, when you first suffered those 46-degree burns during the Falklands War?
It was absolutely critical. It was crucial that we had people who had the confidence to use the skills they'd been taught, no matter what degree they had. There were very experienced medical people there. We had medical field ambulance teams with us, but every service person is trained to a very high standard of first aid. So without them, the outcomes could have been vastly different. We could have had many, many more casualties and many, many more deaths.
What difference does it make when you have people right there on the spot when you need them?
They've proven in Iraq and Afghanistan that they call it the golden hour. And actually they brought it down to the platinum 10 minutes. The sooner you respond, the greater the outcome for the casualty and the patient.
So the people who saved your life, they weren't necessarily trained and qualified paramedics?
No, absolutely not. Most service people are trained to a very high standard, but their training may not have been enhanced since they finished their training at their depot. So some people may not have had a great deal of upskilling before we went to war. But what you are sure of is that because they were trained to a high standard, at some point they could fall back on that, no matter how panicked they might have become. What they wouldn't have been is panicking. They may have been desperate, but the confidence in the training they previously had helped save lives.
Simon, you're an incredibly busy man and you lend your name and your support to all sorts of good causes. What has made you take the decision to become the patron of the South Central Ambulance Charity?
Well, for me it was a no-brainer. The charity does so much good. It has so many incredible volunteers who are all trained and trained to a very good standard. They make a difference in people's lives, and if people are trying to figure out why they're on the planet, that is it, to make a difference in other people's lives. So the first responder is going to make a huge, huge difference. And this is getting ordinary people to be extraordinary. They change outcomes. And I doubt very much whether there's any family out there will not be happy and proud to say thank you to every single one of them who do such an incredible job. What a feeling. See somebody walking down the street that you helped save 6 weeks before, 10 weeks before. You can't buy that.
Simon, you've agreed to give up your time and your support to help the South Central Ambulance Charity. What would you encourage local people across Oxfordshire, Berkshire, Buckinghamshire and Hampshire to do to support the charity in their area?
My goodness, there are so many things that people can do. And it doesn't necessarily mean they have to give up huge swathes of time. Yes, more volunteers is always necessary. But there are those people who don't want to become a first responder, who don't want that responsibility. That's fine. But please take part in some of the events that you can create. A four counties sevens tournament, rugby sevens tournament, football tournament, the things that people do anyway, you can make such a huge difference because the money is needed. The money is needed to get equipment, to get better training, to pay for the time to people so that people can train all the volunteers so that they are as professional as they can be without being paid. It's a sensible thing to do. It's about communities coming together. That's all it's about.
We're asking people to give up their hard-earned money and their precious time to support the work of the South Central Ambulance Charity. Why should they do that?
One of the first things supporting the charity will enable people to do is not second-guess themselves and reproach themselves saying, what could we have done to bring out a better outcome for my uncle, my father, my cousin, my auntie, my sister, when they've passed away because they had a heart attack, because they didn't know what to do. There was nobody there to help them. How many of us have reproached ourselves and said, I wished I could have done, I wished I could have made a difference. Well, this is the difference you can make. By helping volunteers to get the right type of equipment, the right type of training, that's the outcome. That's the difference you can make in a community. It doesn't take a great deal of thinking about, it just takes a little bit of doing.
Simon, it's been an enormous privilege and a pleasure to meet with you today, and I want to say thank you for giving up your time to lend your support to help us inspire people to give their time and their energy and to volunteer for the South Central Ambulance Charity. Thank you.
Not a problem. It's a real privilege and a pleasure to be involved in something that is so positive, that is going to bring about positive outcomes for your whole 4 counties, for your communities, for your villages, your little towns, your little hubs, all over the place. This is about making a difference and bringing people together and bringing people back from the brink. This is really exciting stuff, because it's so nice to see people taking charge. It's so nice for people to stop saying, I wish somebody would do something. This is all of our opportunity to bring about that difference, make the difference, be the difference. That's more important. So many people can be.
Thank you.